Good morning, and I'm
PPR,
just
that's
going to
all.
take you live to what's going on. It looks like Chuck Schumer has just ended his conversation. Welcome to Touch Base Daily, and we are at the eve of what's called the shutdown here in America of the government. And Chuck Schumer just spoke, so I thought I could get that in for you guys, but he just ended. So we'll just end that right now. But, America. Can I just say America? Hold on a second. I need to turn on some light. There we go. I'm sorry about that. I forgot my light source. Rushing to get you guys part of the Sherman. But also I'll have a couple of items here to share with you guys. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to be resolved because the folks are on vacation or some kind of vacation. They're not even at the Congress. They're not even in Congress right now. So it looks like we are in for a government shutdown. The Republicans are horrible at leading. They are the best at propaganda, but they're the worst for leading. They have the House, the presidency. So the House of Representatives, the Senate, the presidency, and they still can't get it together. It's amazing. But yet, this is what America voted for. So anyway, good morning. Welcome to Touch Base Daily. And today is our Tip Tuesday. And we're going to do a little different. I had originally, I usually do the slide presentations for our Touch Base Daily. But today, we will be using our Patreon page. So we'll be talking today about photographing minimalism. And that's what we'll be doing today. And I'll be sharing some tips on that. You can find this on, if you want to follow along, you can just simply go to our Patreon page for those that are in the Patreon community. And if you're not in the Patreon community, join our Patreon community. Oh, we got a Patreon member last night. Thank you, Eric. If you're listening, welcome, Eric, to the Patreon community. And a new subscriber into our Patreon community, supporting what we do here. Thank you, Eric. And so that's Eric with the ERIK. And so we thank you and welcome you into the Patreon. But we'll be doing that today. Our lesson will be not our normal slide presentation. Usually I have a whole deck of, what I call photo decks of what's going, do a presentation deck. But not today. Not today. We'll be going straight using our Patreon page. And I think I might end up doing that for now on because it'll live on Patreon. People can go there. They know where it is. It advertises Patreon. It advertises the community. And so we'll see how that goes. I may not have to do the slide presentations for our photography Tip Tuesdays. So anyway, welcome aboard, y'all. Thank you for joining. You are welcome to be here. I hope you're all having a wonderful Tuesday. My heart is sad today. My heart is sad. Not because of the shutdown, but my heart is sad. My buddy Paul left me today. But I'll see him in Namibia. I'll see him and it looks like my date to depart is January. So right after the holidays. Because some of my family members were like, Ron, you cannot leave before the holidays. So I will be here through Christmas. And I'll be back in the city here in New York City by Christmas time. I'll be in North Carolina in November. So if you guys want to reach out to me and connect with me in North Carolina, my tour begins in North Carolina. And then when I leave North Carolina, it will probably, for the first week of December, take me to Delaware. So I should be in the Delaware area on a nomadic photographer's tour. And so I'll be in all over Delaware. I have so many friends in Delaware. And so I will be spending some time in Delaware, most likely in December, and then head back to family time with Adrian, my brother, and all the other folks. So Yes, so that's what it's looking like. That's what the calendar is looking like for the future. If you're in the building, make sure you hit the likes so that way we can generate that people are in here. Also, I do believe today is Lady G. She's in the building, but I'll get, maybe I'll have her pop on if she wants to pop on. Lady G, let me send you. Let me send. I haven't had my ladies in here in a while. Lady G and Lady Elise. I mean, if you guys can come on, you're more than welcome to. I am sending you invitations, and because I just want to hear y'all voices. That's all. I just like having y'all around. Y'all are the best. They say the best thing. You're the best thing. Anyway, I'm saying this to you guys in case you want to pop on. In case you do. Because also I would love Gwendolyn to tell you her show tonight. This later on, I should say after this at 2:00 Central Time, 1:00 here. She's gonna have the great Anthony Rowland on, but I'll let her talk about it if she pops on. Okay, and so good morning to Hannah. She gets the gold today. Good morning, Ron and Touch Base Daily family. Jazzy Jazz is in the building, and she gets the silver today, I should say. She says, good morning, beautiful people, and sends roses. And in third place, and not to be less, is our wonderful Kimmy. She's hello with her pink hand, her glove. And then we have the wonderful Anthony Rowland, who we'll be hearing from on Gwendolyn's show at 1:00 Eastern. 2:00 Central. I think I got those times right. If I'm wrong, Gwendolyn, you get at me. I know you will anyway. And Kelly A says, good morning, everyone. Elise is in the building. She says, good morning, everyone. And Mr. DS is in the building. He says, good morning, Ron and the Touch Base Daily family. DS here. And G says, good morning. And everybody says hello and everyone's saying hello to each other. Okay, love it. I love it. And DS says, I'm looking forward to the topic, minimalist photography. Yes, it's such a great form of photography, minimalism. And we'll talk about that because it's one of my favorites. And it's really something you have to search for. It doesn't just happen. You have to kind of like be looking for it. And then when you see it, then you are ready to photograph it. Hey, Dr. Chris is in the building. Chris is in the. He says, good morning, Touch Base Daily family. So good to see Mr. Chris. And Dia says, I love how minimalism forces you to really focus on composition and space. Exactly, DS. It's a skill. It really is. Photographing minimalism is a skill set. And it comes together once you get it. It comes together so beautifully, and that's why I love that part of photography. So back to what's at hand here in America. For all my friends who are around the globe, and you're watching this, and you're like, "What the hell is going on in America? If it ain't one thing, it's another." I tell you, I am just like, what the hell is going on in America? And so the midnight tonight, it begins to shut down. Most likely there will be a shutdown. Most likely, almost like 90% a chance that it will be a shutdown. And let me just see. Let me share something from let me get this for you. This is from PBS, and this is Chuck Schumer and Jeff and minority speaker Hakeem Jeffries, who used to be my congressman. Okay, here we go. Let's see, and you can kind of like listen to this, and
we met with the president for the first time since all of these issues started, even though we have requested repeated meetings with Leader Thune, Speaker Johnson, and the president. we have very large differences on health care and on their ability to undo whatever budget we agree to through rescissions and through impoundment, as well as pocket rescissions. And I think for the first time, the president heard our objections and heard why we needed a bipartisan bill. Their bill has not one iota of Democratic input. That is never how we've done this before. When I was leader, we negotiated 4 times with Republicans, and we never had a shutdown. And so it's up to the Republicans whether they want to shut down or not. We've made to the president some proposals. Our Republican leaders will have to talk to them about them, but ultimately he's the decision maker. And if he will accept some of the things we asked, which we think the American people are for, on health care and on rescissions, he can avoid a shutdown. But there are still large differences between us.
It was a frank and direct discussion with the President of the United States and Republican leaders, but significant and meaningful differences remain. Democrats are fighting to protect the health care of the American people, and we are not going to support a partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of everyday Americans. Period. Full stop. There's a Republican-caused healthcare crisis that is causing hospitals and nursing homes and community-based health clinics all across the country, in rural America, urban America, small-town America, the heartland of America, and Black and brown communities throughout this country. And that crisis is happening right now. And that's why we believe there is urgency to both keeping the government open, reaching a bipartisan spending agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people in terms of their health, their safety, their economic well-being and quality of life, while also addressing the dangerous Republican healthcare crisis.
We laid out to the president some of the consequences of what's happening in healthcare. And by his face and by the way he looked, I think he heard about them for the first time. The closing of rural hospitals, the fact that so many clinics are closing. And I don't know if he knew this before, but the fact that people will pay $4,000 more a year, $400 more a month, close to $5,000 more a year on their healthcare premiums if we don't do anything. And people don't know what to do. The average working family can't afford that. I told him how I met a mother who was crying to me because her daughter had cancer. And what has happened with healthcare, with what they have done, she's going to watch her daughter suffer and maybe die. And so he seemed to, for the first time, understand the magnitude of this crisis. And we hope he'll talk to the Republican leaders and tell them we need bipartisan input on health care, on rescissions into their bill. Their bill does not have they never talk to us. Thune didn't negotiate with me. Johnson didn't negotiate with Hakeem. And on the key issues, the Appropriations Committee, which has talked about 3 of the smaller bills, they're good bills, they said the appropriators couldn't agree and said, kick it up to the 4 leaders. They still haven't talked.
And let me say, we're deadly serious about addressing the Republican-caused healthcare crisis because it's a deadly serious issue for the American people. Largest cut to Medicaid in American history. Hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health clinics closing right now. The fact that more than 20 million Americans are on the brink of experiencing dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles because of the Republican refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, which benefit working class Americans. And we pointed that out. I pointed that out. Working class Americans, their health care, that's what we're fighting to preserve, to defend, and to strengthen.
Thank you.
Question?
Yeah, we're going to take questions or not? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
I mean, it is. I don't understand. Well, I am truly. We always say. I mean, the Republican Party is just out to unalive people. It's just that simple. Anything that is going to help healthcare, help people move forward, educate people. Anything that's full of people, the Republican Party is always against. It's just unacceptable. But I have my wonderful folks in the background. Hello, Elise.
Good morning.
Good morning, my dearest. Oh, and then I see our wonderful G is in the building. There she is. She's on board. There she is. Hey, G. Can she hear it? Does she know what she's on?
I don't know.
I don't think she knows. Does she know?
She's shaking her head. She's listening to something.
I can't.
She said she can't.
Is she responding? Is she with us? Her signal's a little there.
Yeah, I can't hear. I can't hear anything. Hold on.
Okay.
You can't hear anything. Yeah, I mean,
I'll remove you and then come. You can maybe reload. Okay, she's gonna. Okay,
she's gonna come back.
You gotta reload.
You brought me. Okay, I can.
Bye.
I thought she said she could hear. I thought she said she could hear.
I thought she said she could hear too. So Elise, I just sit there and I go, there's a part of me that is so disgusted with the fellow Americans in this country. And when I mean that, the people that put these folks in office over and over and over again, they disgust me to no end. There's days I have to actually pray harder for some kind of sense of kindness. I think the worst for these people, because they have brought on our country, they continue to bring our country to a place of no progression. There's so many countries around the world that were behind us that are now in front of us. And most countries in the world are looking to advance their people. In most advanced, I hate using the word advanced countries, but that's the term that's used.
Right.
Most advanced countries are looking out for their people. Healthcare. They make sure there's no poisons in the food. They make sure there's no preservatives. They make sure that their citizens have education. They make sure that their citizens have healthcare. They make sure that their citizens have the things they need for basic life as a human right.
Right.
And America continues to strip away. And this is not just Trump. This is decades of stripping. For what? If your citizens are doing great, the country is doing great. And if the country is doing great, then you are making great, you are going to have a prosperous country. You're going to make money. You're going to have the things you need. I don't understand. This is almost like some kind of S&M show among the Republicans. It's like they love pain. They love to see people in pain. They love to see people hurting. They like to see people in the streets. Even the people that serve, that they think they always act like they care about in the military, those same people are not getting health care, not getting food care, not getting anything. The benefits are being stripped away. The hospitals, VA hospitals, doctors.
Yeah,
it's constantly, for decades, these stupid people that these morons in our country keep putting into office.
Yeah, because I've never voted for a Republican, so that's never going to be a part of my history, my story.
My
Never.
hands are clean. Lily said.
Absolutely. I mean, we know you voted for the Grand Wizard, but now you know better. But even when they're talking to them, Schumer and Jeffries, you talking like you're talking to somebody who cares.
Yes.
He doesn't care. Like he told them clearly, whatever I want to get by this or by the use of the military.
Yes. Did you heard that yesterday?
Right?
Did you hear that?
I heard it. So that's the part that he's saying it all out loud. He knows that, and I tell you, I've said it, and I'll keep saying it, and other people are saying it. Until the people,
yes,
the masses of people, then we don't need his people. We just need everybody else.
Everybody else.
Shut this country down.
The other 2/3.
We've whining about a government shutdown. We should be whining about a government shutdown. We should just be shutting it down. And they should be whining about us shutting the country down.
Yeah,
that's what they should be focused on. And so since people aren't going to do it, and everybody, my husband's like, people say that, look, you're going to die, or you're going to die on this hill. You're going to die to somebody that's going to destroy your life. I mean, you talk about the military. While he's calling these people over there, Headset was taking commissaries away from military people.
Yes.
The commissary.
Right.
Are you serious? They can't go and get groceries and stuff because they definitely don't pay them tons and tons of money.
No.
So you're going to strip them of their commissaries? Oh, by the way, you're going to privatize it.
Yes.
So the private industry, your billionaire buddies who keep asking you for all of these things and are going to get it. And that's the focus. I can understand that everything that they're doing is about people who are billionaires, not about everyday people. They don't care about you. This man, $24.5 million from YouTube, where they cut him, where they took him off the platform. $24.5 million from YouTube.
Yeah.
And so they don't care about any of this. And Schumer, you know what? Those two men. All right. New York. Bless your heart, New York. Those two men. Schumer started this when he voted to get rid of whatever that was before, when you needed to have that 60.
Yes, right.
He started this foolishness.
He did. Yes,
and
he
so
did.
Now you up there talking this craziness. And then there was a black woman who works with, I think she works for Pelosi or someone, who was talking to Roland Martin yesterday.
Yes.
She's like, he was talking about they need to shut it down. She's like, I don't agree with it. I know you don't agree with it. But what you said was nonsense to me. And the last time this country was shut down, president, Trump, he was the president the last time.
That's right.
For like 30 days, the government was shut down. He's back again with bad politics, bad economics. And think about like people keep saying the Epstein files. It's bigger than that, just that. The bad numbers for jobs.
Yeah.
All of the stats are bad. So
every numbers, all the numbers.
Everybody's saying, well, he's threatening if you shut down, he's gonna fire people. He's gonna fire those people anyway. You cannot compromise with the devil or a bully.
That's right.
You cannot give the devil or the bully their way, because they're gonna continue. Because once you give them that, they're gonna take everything. And it's not about somebody put Jim Crow. These people want to take us back to pre-Civil War.
Yes, exactly.
That's where they want to take you back, when only white men were voting. Those that had something were voting. That's what they were doing. They want to take you back to that. They want to drag you back. Wow, Pete said every time I look at him, I can barely look at him because he wears that shirt with the collar too small and the tie too tight up on his throat. But anyway, not tight enough because he's still breathing. But anyway, I just think that we as people cannot sit and say, oh my God, the government's going to shut down. Oh my God, we should be shutting this country down. Because the government no longer is working for you. This current government, and let's be clear, anyone listening to this, I don't care if you support this foolishness or not, this does not sit at the feet of anyone except the people in control. They control the presidency, the House, the Senate, and the Supreme Court, who's responsible in this situation, by the way. They control every level of government. Every level of government in this country has been compromised. None of those things are going to vote for anything that's in your favor.
That's right.
This government is no longer working for the people of the United States of America. Not the general public. It's not. It's not even working for those that supported this person getting there. But he said it from the beginning. I don't care about you. I just want your vote.
I just want your vote.
He
Vote this last time. If you vote this last time, you'll never have to vote again. Quote
and
unquote.
And it keeps reminding me of like over the 5 years that rose through my head, right? When I told people, read Project 2025.
Read it.
Read.
I tell people all the time, read
terrible
it.
books. Read those books by Butler. Read them because that's where we are. We're right there right now. And in those stories, you end up in camps.
Yeah.
Because you can't have jobs. You end up with what don't let it slip over your head when that they may take passports from citizens.
Yes.
So you won't have an escape plan. You won't be able to get out of this crap country.
That's right.
So
let me tell you, I feel
all of those things are possible.
It's all possible. They don't care.
And these rural hospitals have already closed down.
Yes.
These horrible states, like, oh my God, we want to talk about South Carolina and Texas, and they passing that are trying to kill women. But anyway, it's all happening, and it's not beneficial to any person living in this country. And at the end of the day, billionaires may be get acquiring all that money, but they're not going to have it. The people are going to be destroyed.
Yes, but that's why, Elise, you say that, and I sit there, and I've been saying this for years, but really in the last months, it's like, why are you going after poor people? I should say, no, it's not poor people. Why are you going after the working class, the people that work and support? You need their taxes. If there's no one working, there's no more taxes. And if there's no more taxes, if there's no more people, if there's no people working, there's no one that has money to purchase. How does that end well when you want someone to buy your iPhone? How does that end well when you want someone to go to a concert? When they have no money. If people have no money, they're not going to the concerts. They're not going to the Ticket Max and all these other places that want money. That but they think people are going to sit around and look at YouTube and look around and look at Instagram and Facebook all day.
They don't care. They don't care what you do. They really don't. They don't care. Like the working class citizens. And right now, I can speak from the perspective that I'm a retired person, right? But I can do the part where I don't go to a store or a restaurant. I can do those things, right?
Yes.
So don't make a purchase for a week or a couple of days, whatever people decide. But until the working class people understand that they have power.
Yes.
Your power is in your behavior. Your power is in. So you want to put me out of work. You want to reduce my income by giving me less hours. You want to do all those things. How about we just not show up in mass? The working class people have all the power in the world. They have the power. How they keep you afraid to use your power is the problem. Yeah. You have the power. The working class citizens of this country can shut down. There would be absolutely nothing moving in this country if the working class people didn't go to work for 2 days. There would be no buses, no planes, no trains, because guess what? Those are all working class people. There wouldn't be any shipments on trucks because those are all working class people.
The people can shut it down. The people can.
And stop crying and whining about government, because the government only has the power that you've given them. You've given the government the power to control your life. And what you do is a reaction and not a response. A response should be shut it down. Don't worry about them shutting the government down. They shut the government down, then right after that, shut the country down.
And you say this is something that someone was mentioning in another conversation yesterday on one of the talk shows, is that they want to see the Democrats do more by doing what you just said, Elise. These Democrats should say to all their constituents, they should be leading the charge in saying, okay, we need to have a day, no working day. like you just said, shut the country down versus shutting the government. It's going to be, we've been there. But when the people say, like you just said, 2 days of not working, if every person in America take 2 days and just do nothing, these corporations will bleed out in dollars.
It's not even about the corporations bleeding out. That's important to me. That you will show that you have the power to shut the country down.
Yeah.
See, it's about shutting the country down. I think that if we focus on the dollar part, we get distracted. And Ron, your biggest issue, because you kind of like my husband, y'all looking for logic in this. There's no logic. There's no logic.
It's a
Drop logic behind. You're struggling to understand something that's totally irrational.
Yeah.
But it's effective because people don't do what they have the power to do. Right now, there's early voting in Virginia. I sent that information to my niece. She probably didn't even know. Virginia has started early voting. This is an important governor's race in Virginia.
Very important governor's race.
How many people know it? How many people have been talking? I posted last night. I had the people, we all vote. I haven't even seen it come out from them.
Yeah.
We have so much power that we have given up, and we keep, and because we're stuck in that, I don't believe it. How did this happen? And that doesn't make sense. No, it's not. It doesn't make sense. Stop trying to make it make sense. You can't make nonsense make sense. And that's what the devil is, the orchestrator of confusion.
Yes, right.
We got to remember that. Bullies and devils work, they are successful with confusion.
Yes.
This man is a total bully. And those people like Schumer and Jeffries, who I'm still waiting on his office to call me back so I can get an appointment. I guess I have to be like the rest of them, start walking on halls of the Rayburn building and just walk and find his office and sit there till he talks to me. But I did put in the call to ask him for an appointment. Haven't heard anything.
I know you did.
Somebody from New York got the guts to call a representative and say, hey, I want to meet and we need to meet and bring me along. I'm coming. Just let me know you're going to be there. I'll be there with bells on. But the point is, they all, and then you got to understand they've been bought and sold. They don't talk about APEC, but they're out there going to taking trips to Israel. Get out here. I want to smack somebody. But anyway. And that's a whole different subject. But anyway, on the side of trying to understand, Ron, release, it should be logical. Release that.
Yeah.
It's not. Release that the people have forever voted based on hate, fear, and greed. They voted that way forever, right? They have. And when you talk about Democrats, okay, we can say, oh, Democratic politicians. Where are the well-off Black folk?
Don't get me started on that one.
I'm going to say it because that's part of the thing too, because that's a part of the caste system, because I got my money. So caste is about racism and class. They let us get this money. We got a couple of billion. We ain't got but one, but we there. We got a B in front of that. And so they want to keep that. They don't want to rock them boats. The biggest boat rocking was Bad Bunny's going to be at the Super Bowl. Until the people, and these people hear me, good Americans, the United States of America. I started saying United States of America because this is not the only America.
That's right.
So the United people, the citizens of the United States of America, hear me well. While we're trying to have our escape plans, while we're trying to be refugees and seek asylum, like the people that so many of you all say we don't want here, and you want to be an illegal somewhere, when you want to run and seek asylum and safety from a country that's sinking quickly into chaos. In 8 months, we're in almost total chaos. We are an authoritarian government right now. You don't deny it because nobody has control except them.
That's right.
And understand that the Republicans the majority of them have not been on Capitol Hill this week to vote.
That's right. And they're not coming back.
By him not to come to Washington, D.C. So he wants to shut down. Yeah. They want it. Give them what they want. Sometimes
give them what they want. Let them do what they need to do. Well, let's give Gwendolyn. How you doing, my dear? Anything you want to add to this conversation?
Not much. Although I did think about Miss Elise this morning, because something that I always look at is education and the fact that they are really pushing. Again, I'm here in Texas. Woohoo!
I saw that.
Texas. We know Texas.
Oh my goodness. It gets tiring, but I'm watching them, push this voucher. And I'm going to call this voucher scam. And it's right. I mean, everything is to go to a place of being privatized where they can choose and pick who gets education and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Who gets opportunities and who doesn't. Fort Worth ISD just accepted that money and the idea of, if you will, I forgot what it's called, but it's a very particular Christian-based educational system, right? Because they're going to get like an additional $4 million from it, because the TEA has cut funding. And so they have agreed to help indoctrinate these children in school. It's like, it's so ridiculous that I'm saying to myself, you look at people who talk about climate change does not exist, and this doesn't exist, and that doesn't exist. But then we get reporting that American students can't read or write and failing at math, but you don't believe in science. You don't want to pay teachers. You want to gut the Department of Education and put it back in the States and see what happens. It's like, we're not really trying to compete with anybody. Like, remember back in the day when we were in school and we were really trying to compete with other
against
countries
the world
in terms of
yes,
being educated?
yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Remember, like, we were really trying to compete. They had math camp and space camp, and you could do all the debates and all the little, competitions.
Olympics of the mind.
Yes. What happened to that? What happened to
remember they have schools competing for the best scores, so that way you can get grants and get,
It's gone. There is so much focus on trying to put the 10 Commandments in the school and keep kids from going to the bathroom and all this other stuff. And they don't believe in science, but yet you're telling them we can't compete with China, and we can't, because we're not focusing on education. We're not even focused on just like doing like real stuff, real government stuff. So I was like, you know what? It's too much. Now, I meditate on a daily basis, but we've been going from like meditation to just like some time of prayer. Like, we are in prayer. I'm like, look, I'm not struggling yet, but I need you to figure something out. Like, please give me something.
I told you. I said
it's too much.
I have to look it up for you, Gwendolyn.
Well, there's days that my brain can't do it. I have to.
Yes.
It was. I went back to your post. It's Blue Bonnet Learning. Blue Bonnet Learning, a state-developed collection of instructional materials that has been criticized for its selection of Bible-influenced lessons. Called Blue Bonnet Learning.
And then in another county, they are looking at shutting down yet another school. It's like, at what point do people realize that this is going to impact you? Like, people are like, well, it doesn't impact me, so I'm not worried. It's going to impact you. It's going to hit you. Everybody's not going to get private education. And that voucher program, they ain't got to take your kid. They can say, you know what? I don't want this kid. I don't want that kid. I don't want that kid. Right?
That's the whole point. That's the point.
Get rid of. It goes back to, if one of us is falling, failing, struggling, we're all struggling. That's how that works.
Right.
The weakest link.
Yeah, that's exactly how vouchers work. I told y'all I testified on Capitol Hill for 3 years against vouchers to keep them out of DC, and as long as I testified, they never got here. They got here, then all the Catholic schools said, we're gonna do this, and then they gave up. but it's all about, like, what in Ohio, what they found out, because when I testified, we used to get the Cleveland Plain Dealer all the time. And so I, of course, read everything about education in Cleveland. One of the things that was discovered is that one of the biggest owners of those private schools receiving vouchers in the state of Ohio was a friend of the governor. And so it's still about privatization, and Gwendolyn's absolutely right. They don't have to accept your child. It's just like anything else. Like, if you use vouchers, you don't have to accept every child. You use charter schools can put children out. Then you're left with whatever's left of what we call the regular public schools. They have to take students in because that's how they're designed. But we need to go back to, that's why you can't ever forget your history. Education is power.
That's what it
is. To keep us powerless, they told us they would hurt people if they taught us how to read.
Yes.
And then as soon as we were free enough to read, we were on top. We were legislators at the federal level. We were getting doctorates. We were doing everything. We already
lawyers,
inventing everything,
government.
right? Already doing all the inventions. So it really is about what everyone needs to understand, and this includes white women. Everybody needs to understand this is about white men and their fragility,
Right.
and their mediocrity. They're so mediocre. They don't know anything other than to not allow other people to get stuff. So the minute you hear that you have the most educated constituency in America is the Black woman, so therefore you got over 300,000 of them lost their jobs in a few months, right? Because they're so educated that that's the biggest. That's how
they're the threats.
So education is where you go. It's education. It's arts. Those are the things that are under attack in this kind of regime. And you want people not to be educated, because when they're not educated, they are they're very easily brainwashed and manipulated.
And that's what you're seeing in a lot of parts of the country.
Right. And the more you deprive people, like you can't look. I went to the store the other to get some smoked turkey to make some black eyed peas because I love it. But anyway, even though I don't eat meat, I like the flavor. Those things were $15.
Yes, things have gone up
3 times what they were a month ago. They were $15.
And
people are like, is this real? It's real. And so as they're out here grinning, that your grocery prices have done nothing but go up since this man came in. I wanted to know where they were getting the turkeys from, where they imported turkeys. I didn't know.
But it's going to get worse. These people have, like I said, it takes a lot of energy for me. I have to kind of like really spend more. That's why I don't look at the news as much. I mean, I try not to look at it as much because I get so angry when I think of all the stupid people in this country that voted for this. And it just like, how could you not be? But then it's the 1/3 that voted for it, but it's the other 1/3 that stayed home and did nothing.
Right.
What's the 1/3 that's comfortable?
Yeah.
I mean, we are in some comforts, like we talk about how, I shared recently my grandma's house, right?
Yes.
Packing water, using an outhouse, using a clothing line. Like we didn't have. And so you appreciate when you do get like AC, right? And you do get a fridge and all this kinds of like you appreciate it. And we went from a place of understanding and appreciation to we're making it now. We're like the Jeffersons, and I don't want my kid to know about this or experience this. And we started shielding them and not telling them we're not too far removed from that. So don't forget where you came from. People didn't got kind of sedity, Right. And it's okay. Like I'm kind of bougie too at times, but I don't forget where I came from. Like I'm still keep, some beans and rice and stuff ready just in case things, go down, but we're in a place of comfort. Like our kids have never had to struggle. They don't know any kind of struggle. And even when they are in these spaces and kids are saying some ignorant things, they don't always get that. Wait, what? I'm sorry. You talking about me? Like it's not always registering with them. Whereas my parents made it very clear, this is not acceptable. Don't let folks say this to you. Don't let folks say that to you. Like we have done this. I don't want to call this like this gentle parenting because I don't believe in screaming at your kid and yelling at your kid. I don't believe in that. I mean, it's just not necessary. But you got to have a real conversation. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not do that because that doesn't.
You got to tell them the truth.
Like that doesn't help them. But if I can go back real quick to those smoked turkeys. Miss Elise, I thought about my son-in-law when we were talking, and I was like, Black folks have always made a way out of no way.
Yes.
Like you can't get oxtails right now. Why? Because somebody else said, "Oh my God, it's a delicacy," and now they're like $40.
Right.
Yes, that used to be the scraps.
They were scraps. They were throwaway meat.
The scraps.
And yet and still, we found a way to make a really good dish. Now, I'm good for some pork bones and stuff like that. Hopefully nobody figures that out. But this is what we had to deal with. And all of a sudden it's not like a delicacy, right? To where, again, smoked turkey is
For instance, remember when no one wanted avocados? No one wanted avocado. They were like, that thing is ugly. No one wants an avocado. I was like, what is that? No one went.
everywhere.
And then it became, I mean, they always talk about in New York City, the latte people here in New York. And now you go to get to the store, and everyone has to have avocado and toast. Avocado and toast. And now you go to avocados just to be like, no one wanted to buy them. You would just buy them at cheap prices. And now they're one of the most expensive things in the store because it trends. It's a trend. Oxtails, nobody wanted those things like other than it's like
we kept oxtail in the freezer. I got some oxtail in the freezer now, but I go to the meat market because I still have to get a good price some way, somehow. And that meat market is in Houston. So understand sometimes. Like
you have to take
my mama. I know, but I go visit my mama. I'm taking my freezer bags and I am packing up on the meat because I trust my meat market from when I was a kid. I don't know why I can't find a good one here. But if I could just add one more thing, Ron, really quick.
Yes.
Because like you, I don't watch the news a lot. It can be too much for anybody's system. But I also recognize that in times of chaos, that is where you get to be very creative.
Yes.
You can either choose to just sit on the sideline and say, woe is me, or you can say, what can I do to make sure that people in my immediate sphere are not impacted or are prepared, or both? Like, what can we do? If it is, like we talked about before in Florida, where people are teaching the kids Black history on Saturday and Sunday, or maybe it's doing some other kind of something. Now, I know TikTok, I think they still have that free college thing. I don't know what happens after TikTok becomes whatever it's becoming.
It's going to become something.
Have ways of doing stuff for ourselves that we own, like our own website or something, because eventually some of this right here may not exist.
Yeah, and that's true. It's true. But
since we're on the topic, though, I just want to just throw this in because just as that, so people can think about this as we move through this shutdown, which is going to happen after midnight tonight. You might want to start. I always say about the stocking up, but you want to take some time, especially people that work for the government. You're not going to probably get a paycheck. You're not going to get your paychecks. You're not going to get. They say Social Security may not be happening. A lot of the stuff that the government pays, you're not going to get. You're not going to have the money at hand. So if you have money at hand right now, and maybe you're going to get maybe 2 checks, you might get this check this month, but you may not get it next month because you don't know how long this shutdown is going to be. So all my photographer friends, all of my creatives out there, if you are out there and you depend on government assistance for any reason, whether it's medical or whatever, especially here, I know here in New York, a lot of small businesses rely heavily on government programs because during COVID, like myself, they took a lot of us small business owners and put us into the state healthcare system, which also is provided through Medicaid. And so, for instance, my surgeries cost nothing. And I was like, thank God for that. But a lot of things that you think you don't even are aware of, so many things that are connected to the government. So you may want to think about some of the things that you do that are, or do a little research and say, hey, my check is coming from here. How is the government shutdown going to affect it? So make sure today you go through and look at your Social Security, look at all the things you need to look at. So that way you are ready. If you take a couple of dollars, some money out of the bank, kind of like put it where you need to have it so you can get to it. But just kind of be prepared. And if you need to get extra food in the house, get extra food. Because we don't know how long this government shutdown. This guy's a maniac. And now he has no desire to yield. And we don't know how long this is going to be. Because
he doesn't have a desire because people haven't given him a reason.
Yeah.
Because the majority of people are letting him do whatever he wants to do. And then people have to own that. It's not just about, the people who, if you don't take a stance, it's like when you say you get so upset, it always goes back to Baldwin. If you are conscious, you are going to be enraged. You're going to be upset. It's how you work with that rage that's so important.
That's right.
Because once you lose that ability to be conscious of it and to be compassionate and empathetic, then you've lost your humanity.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want your humanity to go, yeah, do I watch news? Absolutely. I don't watch news like that. But I do know what's happening around me. And I do know that, I'm going to put this post of I made, me and my lessons from the garden. But anyway, I had saved some cantaloupe seeds. I saved cantaloupe seeds and I said, oh, let me just put it in the ground. So I grew a cantaloupe. Just as seeds I saved. So I say that
in your garden.
As in my garden. So I say that to say, people say it over and over again, get you some seeds. I mean, real seeds, get you some seeds so that no matter what, you can plant pots and put it in your house. You can put it on your balcony. You can grow some food.
That's
you may not have that meat, but you can grow what you need.
Grow cucumbers.
So look at that.
Grow,
You can grow everything you need.
Everything
you can grow
need.
Vegetables. You can grow all the vegetables. You eat mushrooms. You can grow mushrooms in your house. Whatever you want to do.
Get those seeds.
You can do it. And then the meat things, look like Gwendolyn say, look for markets. Look for all kinds of things. Like look for places where where Black farmers are, whoever's out there. Because trust and believe, when he said these farmers are they're gonna send some tariff money to the farmers, then he's not gonna send them to Black farmers. So we have to make sure, where are the Black cattlemen? If you eat beef, where are the people who are doing those things? Got to go back to where our connections are.
Yeah.
Where's the man selling the watermelons out truck? Wherever that is. We have to reconnect, because one of the things I think that these last few years from 2020 until now has been about is teaching us something. As Gwendolyn says, it's teaching us power. You've gotten comfortable and complacent. And so here we are.
That's right.
Now you have to understand, and we have gotten disconnected as a community.
Yeah.
Most importantly, we got connected as a community. So
community
we're not
is key.
For each other the way we need to care for each other and looking out for each other. So we have got to understand that this time right now is for us to understand that we are not by ourselves. We have to be connected. We're going to survive the same way we always survive. That's as a community. That takes whoever's growing something, find out where it is, because even if whatever goes on now, it's not going to get better. Right? Nothing's going to get great. Nothing's going to get better, improve for us. We're going to have to figure out what other survivals we need to have in place and teach people about it. At my house, there's plenty of rice and beans in here.
That's right. I got packs and packs of rice and beans.
And so somebody's going to need that rice and beans, right?
If you have nothing else, you got rice and beans.
Someone's going to need them. And so we have to face the reality, but we also, the biggest reality of people say, how do we change? How can we impact change?
Yeah.
Right now, the only way that I see people in mass impacting change is not about marching on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about any of that. It's about shutting the country down. Everybody gonna be sick today. Nobody's going to the store because you're sick, you can't go out and shop. That's what I would tell my son. I say, you're sick, you can't watch TV. You can't do all this. And then you have to totally disconnect. For those 2 days, you need to text somebody, do whatever you're going to do, because you also don't need to support the platforms that no longer support you.
That's right.
Because Netanyahu is out there excited about whoever's going to buy TikTok. He's excited about that. He's excited about that and X. I don't do X either, but but my thing is this: until people, and I don't know how. Now this is part for me. I don't. Closer to the ground, you have to be brought than we are now. Realize that you have the power until you start fighting back, but you don't have to fight back with weapons and all that stuff. You can fight back with the power that you have. That's your presence. The biggest commodity you have is you. Until people use that commodity and don't show up. And I don't care. Like, if it don't matter if you work at a restaurant, if nobody comes in that restaurant that day, guess what? You still don't make a tip.
That's right.
So you got to shut it down. Until then, we are going until the people
feel the pain.
rise up. And I feel the pain until
but
the people rise.
but they're not going to rise up until they feel the pain.
But see, the problem, Ron, is they feel the pain. They feel it. Some of them ignore it because they so filled with hatred and fear.
Yeah.
They know there's a mother out there in the Appalachians with children who can't eat because her and upset because her EBT card has been cut back and she's only getting $300 where she was getting $1,000. She's out there. But guess what? That means that Hector and his family's not getting it. It means that Ron and his black family not getting it. So I'm good. I'm starving. My children starving. They're raggedy, but hey, my teeth are raggedy too. But hey,
hate is a you know, I talk about hate, racism, hate, bigotry is some kind of drug. It's a powerful drug. It's a powerful drug. But anyway, it's time to do some lessons here. Thank you, ladies, for joining. I love it when you guys are here. I just wanted to hear y'all. I knew you guys would chime in, but again, the shutdown is midnight tonight, and it's 90 days. It's pretty much going to happen because these people are not coming back. They're not coming back. I'm waiting on the real
shutdown. Shut this country down.
Yeah. So now
anybody listening to this, hey, shut the country down. That's the only.
And I would love the Congress people and the people in leadership. Yeah,
because this ain't gone. This ain't, and then Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah. I'm waiting on you, dude.
Yeah. There you go.
Where's Tory Hatton?
Later, Elise. Goodbye.
Bye.
Wait, Gwendolyn, tell us about what you're going to be doing at.
Oh, yes. Anthony and I are going to be talking at 12 o'clock on Small Biz Bites. We're talking about making the change because we're going through some changes. He's got great advice for
12
for
o'clock.
all of us.
That's 12 o'clock Central
12 o'clock Central.
1 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay.
So we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna do our lesson real quick, and then we're gonna get ready for G's show with Anthony Rowland, who's one of our community people here. One of our community. The community is working and sharing, so we'll be there. Dr. Tati says I'll be there. Kimmy says yes. And so we'll be doing that. Okay, guys, let's get to the lesson. Let's get to the lesson, y'all. It's time to talk about minimalism and photography. So here we go. And so if you are interested in knowing where this is found, you can find this on our Patreon page. And let me see if I can get that. Is that going to be too big? Is that going to be too big? I'm trying this out for okay, that should work. Okay, so I'm going to get that in there. And so here we are. We're talking about minimalism. And that's what we're doing. Let me get this off the screen. Kimmy and her beautiful words out there. Do you think minimalism is more about technique or mindset, says Mr. DS says, do you think minimalism is more about technique or mindset? I think it's both. I think you have to also get into a mindset to be able to start creating minimalistic images, but it is also technique. You want to know how to work on shadows. Maybe it's not the shadows. Maybe it's light. Maybe it's shadow and light. Maybe it's just landscape. Maybe it's a tree on a hill. Maybe it's that one bush in the field that happens to be red when the others are green. I mean, you have to look for it. And, but it requires a technique, how to frame it, but we're going to go into it. Okay, here we go. First thing, this is a minimalistic shot that I shot in Namibia. When I was in Namibia, I was on top of this amazing dune, climbing a dune, and I looked down and saw this couple, and and I love the way they were walking into the sun, and you see their shadows are on the ground, right? If you go real tight there, you can see that, right? And it's minimal. That's all you see. That's it. Everything else is just sand. It's just the floor of the desert. But there they are walking. I got lucky to get them in step. Like you see, their legs are in step motion. They're evenly apart on the, minimalism. That's minimalism. Okay? But there's many types of minimalism. But it's just, let's go through it. Let's just go through it. Here we go. First thing. Here we go. Let me get that all lined up for you. Photography, photographing, minimalism. Minimalism invites clarity, emotion, and intention, perfect for photographers seeking depth through simplicity. The key word there is simplicity. Here's a set of inspiring tips you can use to master minimalism in your photography. First stop we're going to go is embrace negative space. Let emptiness speak. Use large areas of sky, walls, open ground to isolate your subject and create visual breathing room. Negative space amplifies emotion and draws the eye to what matters. Think about that. Again, minimal. So you have a big giant blue wall, a huge blue wall, but then you stand a person in front of that blue wall wearing a yellow shirt. Minimalism. You have someone's face, but you focus on their eye. You have a cat, but you focus on their whiskers. It's bringing it all into just simplicity. Simplicity is the key. The old saying is, there's beauty in simplicity. Next, choose simple, strong subjects. Look for objects with clean lines, bold shapes, striking texture, a lone chair, a single flower, or a shadow on a wall, like you saw the shadow on the desert floor. A wall can become powerful when framed with intention, right? Can be powerful when you frame it with intention. Photos are made. Photos are created. They're not just taken. Number 3, limit your color palette. Remember I talked about the blue wall. That's the only thing that's happening is the blue wall. A person standing in front of it wearing a yellow shirt. You can make the blue wall huge and just have the person in one little section of the picture, right? Very rarely in the center. They're on to the left, to the right, but the big blue wall. Or a big gray wall. And then someone's wearing a red shirt or a red dress, or a person walking down a block, and it's just sky. And they just have an umbrella in their hand, and they're standing on the hill. Minimalism. Limit your color palette to 2 colors. It's usually like 2 colors. Blue, yellow, red, green, purple, orange. I always say use the color wheel. The color wheel will help you with those decisions on color. You can pull up on Google anywhere your color wheel. And the opposites is what's going to make those dynamic shots look strong. Okay? Next, use light to sculpt. Natural light, especially early morning or late afternoon, can create gentle gradients and soften shadows. Side lighting adds dimension without cluttering the frame. Right? Shadow the light. Like you see these pictures with just everything is dark on this side, but then the face is on this side. Very minimalistic. Right? If I had more time, I would take you through all of these scenarios visually. But this is just to whet your appetite. However, if you are part of the Patreon community, there will be photos added to this posting later. Okay? So you will see some of those samples there. Okay, next, light and shadow. Light and shadow is important. We have one of my good friends, Mr. Michael Young, who's a photographer that I am one of my favorite people. He masters shadows and light. Well, like you just saw with the photo I just had here, where you saw the people in the desert. That was taken early in the morning. That's why you got that long shadow, because the sun is lower. So when the sun is lower, the bodies cast longer shadows. The higher the sun goes up, the shorter the shadows. The lower the sun, the longer the shadows. It is those shadows that help add more to your minimalist photo. Here's another one. Number 5, frame with precision. Every element should earn its place. Use grid lines. We talk about our grid lines all the time. Or the rule of thirds to position your subject thoughtfully. Minimalism thrives on balance and deliberate composition. The rule of thirds I use the rule of thirds a lot for minimalism because it's subliminal. Our grids, like I always ask you all to turn on your grids on your smartphone, turn on your grids on your camera, whatever camera you have, turn on the grids, because when you get those intersecting points or those lines here, right? And then lines here, right? Makes like a tic-tac-toe box. You ever play tic-tac-toe? Think of the tic-tac-toe grid. However, wherever that subject is on any of those lines, it helps the composition. And if it's touching one of the 4 the center box on the tic-tac-toe grid, if it's touching one of those points, it makes for better composition. And of course, you can break the rules. But then once you know the rules, then you can break them. Okay. But frame with precision. Next, number 6, declutter the scene. Before you shoot, scan the frame. Dr. Tachi and I talk about this all the time. All right. Scan, look at the frame. You can just take your hand and create a frame around what you're trying to create. And look for things that shouldn't be there. You can remove it if you can. Or take it from another angle where it's less distraction. Declutter the scene. Less patterns. Minimalism is not the place for lots of florals. Like floral and patterns on top of patterns and patterns on this pattern. It can be done when done skillfully, but keep your background solid. If it's all green, it could be all grass. It's the sky. It's all blue. Keep it simple. Declutter the scene. Before you shoot, scan the frame, remove the distractions, extra objects, busy backgrounds, or unnecessary details. Simplicity is the soul of minimalism. Simplicity is the soul of minimalism. Can I say it again? Simplicity is the soul of minimalism. 7, and not last. It's the last for today. Tell a quiet story. Because we are, at the end of the day, visual storytellers. If you have one of these and you're using your camera, you're telling your story through your lens. Tell your story through your lens. Minimalist photography isn't empty. It's evocative. A single footprint in snow. A window with sheer curtains. Or a solitary figure in a vast space can steer emotion or stir emotion and navigate the narrative. Okay? And so what does that mean? Get out there. Now let's get out and do it. Get out there and do it. Any questions? Any questions? I see DS always has questions. Are there any common mistakes beginners make when trying to shoot minimalistically? Yes. They may presume that patterns could be used and they may use it ineffectively. But it really is trying to narrow everything down. It's about getting away anything that's unnecessary. You only want in the frame what is important, your story. It's like I remember being in a class years ago. This is like 2015. I was in a photography class at Sony, and the gentleman was saying the hardest thing to do for photographers is to keep taking things out of the frame. It's the challenge. It's a skill set to eliminate as much as you can in the frame and still tell your story. That's minimalism. Any other questions? Any others? I see Cass says. He says, like the Japanese. I love how beautiful a Japanese home looks like. Japanese homes look like. Such simplicity, so minimal, yet so beautiful. Speaking of that, Mr. DS, one of my favorite cultures on the planet is Japanese culture because of minimalism. I love Japanese culture because they're able to live life at a level of basic simplicity, to eliminate everything except for the things that bring you joy. Right? It's about living for the things that bring you joy. Just everything else, all the other stuff you don't need, it's just clutter. You like it, and then it's, you may have been in love with it for a moment, and now you're no longer, it's just clutter. But we live a life full of just the things that bring us joy. That's minimalism. But yeah, I love Japanese culture. And Anthony says, scanning the frame was a weak point for me for the longest. I was so focused on the subject that I missed the distractions. Yes, that is the hardest for most photographers. I think when I learned that in that class I took at Sony, I was like, how do you get rid of stuff? Like, I mean, in your mind, you're like, how do you get rid of stuff? But you are, when you're creating for, one of the things he said in this class is that you as a photographer, it is your responsibility to create an image, not just take an image. It's amazing that stuff, that was what he said, and it was in conjunction with this topic. You are set out to create an image. So you have to move something over, or you have to move a different angle. Do it to get the objective, right? You are trying to take a photograph that tells a story in so few words, as you want to say. There are certain words in the English language that you don't need anything extra with that word to make that word an action. For instance, like the word stop. You don't need to add anything to it. You just say stop. Same thing with go. Light. There's certain words. Just like there are words, there are framings that are minimalistic. I'm not sure if that was a good analogy, but I hope it helps. And yes, okay, gotcha. Okay, any other questions? That's it. But Anthony is dead on it. The hardest thing for photographers to do is to eliminate and clean, keep the frames simple. Again, you can find this. You can find this on our page. Let me just go to our page. Back to the home page. Hold on a second. Go into the creative mode. There we go. Paid members. Okay. Let's see here. Let me get there. Yeah, there we go. So this is what our page looks like on Instagram. Sorry, on Patreon. And you'll find everything I do pretty much there. All the different lessons, all the different stuff we talk about is all right here on Patreon. So become a Patreon member. And on that note, let me just say it. Let me just say it in the banner. There we go. Thank you, Patreon members. You support and help us create amazing content. And also, I want to say thank you to Eric for becoming a new Patreon member. And every dollar counts. So if you want to support what we do here on YouTube, become a Patreon member. But there's a whole nother world in Patreon where you can learn and get everything we do here is right there, laid out, all the lessons, all the Motivation Mondays, and any other extra things that we do, they're right there. Also, I am an event photographer. You can reach out to me for events to photograph, and also join our email list so that way we can keep in contact with you. And last but not least, join the YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. That is how we grow this audience. Okay, nice. And I see there's another comment in the box there. And let me just go. Kaz says, let me just pop this away. Kaz says, have to prepare, minimize, do things in moderation, be aware and vigilant, save, stack, and store. Do not panic, just prepare, just suggestion. Dia says, it's interesting how negative space can become the main subject itself. Indeed. And also, he says, Ron, I had some questions. If you scroll up the chat, if you can and have time. Oh, yeah, I do have time. What other questions did you have, buddy? I saw you said Japanese. Let me see here. Are they? Oh, you got the mistakes that common with the beginners. Oh, here's another one for you, buddy. How do you balance simplicity with keeping the image engaging? Usually it's all about the subject. For instance, I always use the blue wall and the yellow person in the yellow jacket. The blue wall is the background. It's simplicity, but it's interesting. But the subject is let's say it's a woman. The woman wearing a yellow jacket, maybe posing or just maybe walking in front of the wall. She is the subject. She is the interest. Yet it's simple. The blue wall, the woman walking past the wall in a yellow jacket. Here's another one using a blue wall. Let's go with a green wall because green and red are complementaries on the contrast. You have a green wall, and then there's a gentleman walking past the wall with a red jacket in a briefcase. Your eye is automatically going to be drawn to the man in the red jacket with the briefcase. It makes it very easy for your subject to stand out because there's nothing else in the frame but the green wall. Does that answer the question, DS? Any other questions? Let's see here. Are there any common mistakes? Got that one. Got that one. Got that one. That's a good one. DS says, I noticed minimalist shots often evoke more emotion because there's nothing distracting. What do you think? Exactly. It's all about simplicity. Like when you see who does it very well. I think Phil Pelliman does minimal very well with humans, shadows and light. He's an amazing photographer, and he is able to hit a lot of. You know what? We got 5 minutes. Let me see if I can bring it up for you. Let me go to his page. Because I love the way he does it. And you can go to, and his page is a good example. He has a lot. Here we go. Phil Penman. And here's a good way to, I think he's one of my inspirations. So why not share it with you? Okay. So I'm going to share Phil Penman, I should say, his page. Watch this. When you see this, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And let me stop sharing this one and then get this one on the screen. There we go. Here we go. And his work, look at that. You see that? Minimalist. And where's your eye drawn to? The light. Where's the light? The woman in the white dress. Everything else is shadowed, but very minimal. This is a beautiful minimalist shot, and he does it so well. You can go to his page. Here's another one. The man in the middle. The man in the middle is the shadow. And then you got these lines of traffic lights. You got the softness of the snow. Everything else is muted except for the flashing red lights and the man in the middle. Here's another one. I use him as, like I said, he's one of my inspirations. And hopefully he'll be on our show. I reached out to him, and he may come on to spend time with us. Look at this one. You see the use of shadows and light? You see? And then the lines are drawn to the person and the man that looks like he's going to wash some windows or wash something. Here's another one. Minimal. Just a leg and a hand with a cigarette, and everything else is soft, depth of field. Here's another one. Woman in the street and all these beautiful buildings and the light. There's the shadow. You get it? Are you getting it, guys? You getting it? He is one of the, if you want to, this is someone you should be following if you want to understand minimalism, yet creating in its layers, but they're soft layers. And a lot of his images are like this. Right? So you can go through some of them and you'll see them. I can go on and on through his page. Minimalism. No distractions in the background. Beautiful face. You see? So again, this is, if you want a good person to follow, which is one of my heroes, Mr. Phil Penman. Let me just pop that there. There we go. Check it out. Check out his page. You will not be disappointed. It's one of the best. Yeah. So there you go. That was a good question. See, DS, you were able to get us you help us get to where we needed to go. Okay, I think that's it. I can talk about this subject along because there's other photographers, but I think Phil is the best one. Well, he's one of my, like I said, I'm biased. He's one of my favorite photographers. And I see you guys going, wow. He said, wow, 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 wow. Amazing. Getting it for sure. Yes, go to his page. And see y'all at 12 o'clock. Okay, so we're going to get ready. This is going to be a time to get something to eat. And we will be joining Gwendolyn and Anthony Rowland as she spends time chatting with Anthony Rowland today. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great day. Love you and see ya tomorrow. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.